Hello. Today we are going to make a green goddess sandwich. In order to do this, we need a quarter cup each of fresh chives, mayonnaise, Greek yogurt, tarragon. I'm using dried tarragon because I didn't have fresh at the store, so I'm using a little bit less because that's much more pungent. We're using 1 lemon. We're going to use the zest and the juice of that lemon, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and for a little bit of seasoning, we're going to add some black pepper. For the actual sandwich itself, we're going to slice up an English cucumber. You can peel it or not. I'm going to leave the skin on. Just going to make sure you wash that. I have 2 avocados here. Depending on what I find on the inside, I always get my backup avocado. But 1 avocado should be enough for 2 sandwiches if it's got good meat on the inside. 8 ounces of fresh mozzarella. And we also want to use a crunchy lettuce. I happen to be using iceberg today, but you can use Bib lettuce or Boston lettuce if you'd like. And then whatever sprouts you might have. I am going to be using some daikon, spicy daikon sprouts. But if you have any other kinds of sprouts that you like, we're going to add those on. So let's get ready. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and make our dressing that's going to be part of our sandwich. I'm going to take a quarter cup of Greek yogurt. You want Greek yogurt because it's thick, but if you don't have Greek yogurt, I would say you could also use sour cream. That would really make this rather decadent. All right, so we're also going to get a quarter of a cup of mayonnaise. So I'm just going to put that in here. We've got to measure that out. Let's get the air bubble out. Squeeze bottles are great, except when they have air bubbles like that. Add just a little bit more. There, it should be a quarter of a cup. We'll be good to go with that. So it's even amounts of each one of these ingredients. Get that in here. All right, so we'll get our tarragon. We're going to put our chives. Now I chopped the chives up just to be sure that I got them in there. They can end up, I'm not going to say that they can end up stringy, but if they're not chopped, your processor may not cut them up evenly. So we're going to put in the juice of a lemon, so we need to cut that lemon. Actually, before we cut the lemon, we're going to zest it. So, put our zester right over it. Get all of the deliciousness that is the zest. This is where all the oils live. This is the smell you get when you pick up a nice fresh lemon. I can smell it already. So you don't want to go down to the pith. You don't want it to get super white. Just to that point, because the pith is bitter. And then you'll end up with a nice bulb lemon, which is not a bad thing, using as much of it as we possibly can. All right, so you can see a lot of it ends up on the back. Just use our finger to get that off. Okay. And now we want to juice our lemon. So we're going to do that. We're going to take the juice of the whole lemon and we're going to put that in. So in order to keep from having to dirty things, I just put my little strainer on top. I find a way to keep it on there. And then I'm just going to juice my lemon right in, and that way none of the pits get in. And if a pick gets in, just make sure you fish it out. If you don't have a little strainer like I do. All right. And the rest of that lemon goes into, it goes into my garbage disposal, and it keeps it fresh. So I run the garbage disposal with usually half a lemon whenever I run it, because I use lemons a lot. There we go. All of that out of there. And then I turn this guy over and just get the rest of that out of there. Okay, so now once we've got those in there, we're going to go ahead and process this for a moment or two until it's well combined. Switch directions. Okay, you can already see it's got a nice green hue. So I've got my little spatula here. Open this up carefully. I'm going to scrape this down. And this is pretty much it. I'm going to add some oil to it. I actually don't think I really need any. Let's have a little taste, shall we? Oh my God, that's so good. Nice and zingy from all the lemon. So I'm going to add a little bit of oil to just kind of tone that down just a teensy bit. And a little bit of ground pepper, not much. Not even 3 turns there. And the thing that's really bringing great flavor to this party is the tarragon combination with the chives. That is a lovely flavor. All right, so just cover this up and process it for another moment or two. And what we're trying to do is make sure that we have a nice emulsion, that everything has been combined. And this is our spread. All right, so let's have a look. Isn't that pretty? Look at those colors. We've got a beautiful green color in here. So that's going to be the spread on our sandwich. So let's go ahead and build that sandwich, shall we? We are ready to build our sandwich. So I happen to have sourdough bread on hand. You can use a multi-grain bread or anything else, but just make sure that the bread you're using is sturdy, okay? So this was actually one long piece. I cut it in half and I toasted it. You do need to toast this for it to really stick together. Otherwise, it may not stay together as well as you would like. So I'm gonna put I build on one side of a sandwich so that all I have to do at the end is put the lid on, as it were. So I'm going to put my lettuce, as you see. This is our mozzarella. I'm going to put a few, I don't care for a lot of spice, and these are daikon sprouts, microgreens that I've grown. So I'm only going to use a few of these, because they're very spicy for me, but they're delicious and extremely nutritious at this age. So I'm going to just put a few on here. Now you can use broccoli sprouts, alfalfa sprouts, clover sprouts, whatever you have. If you use something like that that's much more mild, I pile it on, okay? So here we're going to put our cucumber. And again, with this, you want to be as generous as you feel like you can be without the sandwich kind of falling apart. So you see, I just sliced up my cucumbers. I think we're good there. And then I've got my avocado, which I cut in half, I pitted, and then I ran my knife through. So I'm going to just use my spoon here to separate those slices right out of the skin. Isn't that a neat little trick? One more. I think that'll do it for this sandwich. And this was a really nice ripe avocado, so I lucked out there. I'm not going to let any of that go to waste. All right, and then lastly, I'm going to put a little bit of my dressing on here. Okay, I tend to serve this on the side as well, so that there's a little bit extra. But it's not like having mayonnaise, right? You can see it's kind of runny. So I want you to try making this at some point. This is a green goddess sandwich. You can see all of the greens we've got in there. I am almost reluctant to put the lid on, but once you do, kind of want to push that down just a little bit. And I want you to try this because that is delicious.